Hello, my name is Arsh. I have my background in supply chain, starting my career in United States Marine Corps, after which I just continued going down supply chain, working in different jobs within the supply chain field, with my last job being at Shiseido, working as a business analyst for them. Um, I enjoyed analyzing data, but I wanted to build upon my skills. I was mainly working in Excel, and I just didn't feel like that was very effective. So I wanted to do something more than that, which is what led me to join Savvy Coders and build upon my skills by learning SQL as well as Python. So I can do more when it came to analyzing data for my future job. Um, for my Capstone, I looked at the air quality index data as well as rideshare data for Uber and Lyft to see if COVID-19 lockdowns had a good effect on the environment. Let me show you what I have created so far. All right. As well for Agile, I worked as a Scrum Master for Team 2. Um, First half the cohort, so we had two different halves. So first 6 weeks of the cohort, I was a Scrum Master for my Agile team. I worked with my product owner to make sure they ensures that the sprints ran smoothly. I ensured that everyone had ample opportunity to speak during those sprints. We had sprint runs to make sure everyone was able to share their progress, as well as ask for assistance on anything that they were having trouble with or that they found challenging. Yep, that is it. So for the first half, so I had two data sets for my program. Just because the first half, after doing it, I realized it wasn't enough. Um, so this is first half of my data set, which is the air quality index data set. And mainly I worked on it in SQL. So this is the one code that kind of brought it all together for me. Um, I just had all the data sets in different years, and there were other columns that I generally realized that I didn't need. So in this code, I am making a new table where I'm inserting these columns that I actually wanted from each of those years. And this is the each different table. And I only wanted CBSA code 3560 because this is the only code for New York. And I kind of wanted the data to be just on New York. So I made sure I selected everything from this table where the code was this and for different years, obviously. And this gave me the data and I combined them all together into one. And this gave me the clean data that I needed to present, and which is this one. This is just showing you data of air quality index data for New York City over the years. So 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. Those are the 4 years that I looked on for both of my data sets. And as you can see, obviously in the year 2019, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't too good either. And during the lockdown is kind of when it went up. The good days went up significantly from 169 days to 222 days. And since then, obviously the lockdown stopped. I think it has gone back to what it was, if not worse. But this is the data that's showing you what happened those over the years, essentially. And I kind of wanted to take away, because in this dashboard, I'm also showing you all these other factors, which is hazardous days, unhealthy days, and very unhealthy days, which typically are kind of down to zero. So I didn't really want to show that in this dashboard. So I only showed good days, moderate days, and unhealthy days for sensitive groups. Again, the same thing. 2019 wasn't too good. 2020, only towards because of the lockdowns and people weren't allowed to go outside. Our data was, we have better days, a great quality. And since then, lockdown has ended, and I think people are kind of going out more to kind of make up for the lockdown. And we have kind of gone in opposite direction of what we were aiming to go, or what I was aiming to go. My next data set I found on the internet as well, and it was a rideshare data set. I wanted to see if the air quality was good. Did the air, like the rides people took were more, since people were home more often. And the data set that I found was in Parquet files, which I didn't learn in the cohort, but that's kind of what made me realize that even the things that I'm learning, they're the basics, and I would need to reach out and learn more. So in order to open a Parquet file and how to work with it, simple Google search, and I was able to, unlearn everything that I needed to. So here I'm importing all the files that I needed, and this is where I'm opening up the Parquet file to be in this data frame. And here I'm opening the data frame and I'm grouping it by license number, but these are also the code words for different rideshare. So I wanted to group by if Lyft and Uber. And this request date time count, I counted it to see how many hits they had in that day. So I can get essentially by each group of rideshare data, how many hits they had for that particular month and combine them together. And I also added the column month name. So I made sure each month was in a different group so I can analyze it at the end. And in this, at the end, I am putting each respective month together for the year. And I had to do this for every single month and every single year for 2019, 2022. So it was quite a while, but since it was kind of the same thing that I was doing, I had a much easier time doing it, but I still had to make sure that everything that I did, I checked it with the previous month to make sure that if the data somehow came back same, that I might not have corrected everything that I needed to make sure everything was correct for that particular month. Yeah, this is the data set that I used, and this was mainly done in Python because I did want to make sure I used Python in my group, in my project as well. And this is the nice little chart that we got to the end of it after cleaning all of my data. This is showing data going from 2019 all the way to 2022. And I think the reason why I wanted it more broken down into months is because it really did do a very good job showing exactly when the lockdowns happened. So obviously the rights were a lot more in 2019. People were traveling, people were doing things. And right around March, going into June timeframe is when the rights dropped significantly because we were in lockdown, people weren't allowed to be outside. Yeah, and obviously like the previous data, since then we have just continued to go back to the normal self. Nothing really changed. I guess serious lockdowns is what's needed. And in conclusion, this is beautiful New York City. This is originally where I'm from, so that's why I choose to do the data set on this. I think it would take a little bit more than just a lockdown to make the changes needed to make everyone be more conscious of our environment. And I think lockdown kind of showed that, people are capable of not, living all the things that they're doing. Maybe these are extra things that you don't need to do, extra rights you don't need to do. Yeah, that is it. That is my data set. And I would also like to thank everyone at Savvy Coders for giving me the skill sets that I needed and also showing me that if something I don't need and something I need more than what they have taught me, I have the opportunity to go outside of what they have taught me and learn more. Yeah, thank you.